Hello. I hope the levels are good. Hello Grim, you are back yet again. You can say that I'm playing the game terribly once more. I'm looking forward to it, Oh, why doesn't that look right? Hang on. Why are you off center? That's weird. There you go. Thank you, Streamlabs, for randomly changing that. Right, there we go. Greet. Hello, Enigmatic. In fact, Enigmatic, do you want to come on Guardian this Saturday? That would be most helpful, because I've asked a few people and they keep telling me they're busy. Because, I don't know, whether they don't like me, whether they're fed up of reading Guardian articles, whether they just don't like banter, you know? That's also a possibility. As usual, we'll give it a few minutes before we kick the game off. But I hope you are all doing well. While we carry on and try and save the country of Swordland, because we're still not out of the recession. One thing I find it hard to keep track of in this game is how many years have gone past, because a lot of these decisions feel like... It feels like I should have only played maybe, I don't know, 9 months or so. Turns out it's been like 3 years. Got 4 hours of overtime on Saturday, but your game, well, you can use that overtime money to buy some drink and join us to laugh at, well, the first few days of Burnhamism, which have been awful. They hate you, that is the only answer. That is fair enough. I love how Streamlabs tells me there's one person watching, and I bet if I go on YouTube it's like, yeah, concurrent viewers, like 4 of you, so whatever. People will drip feed in anyway, so I'm not too bothered about that. Lucky number 7. We're on number 8. Well, we're on part 8 anyway. And I have to remember how everyone speaks. Because I keep doing accents. Let's hope there's not an 8. I'm lost now, Grim. Are you talking about the parts? Because it should be part 8. Let me quickly... Oh no, the music went down. Where have you gone? Yeah, part 8. Spy sapping my vice president. But I don't mean sapping. Like watching Game of Thrones felt like the timeline was screwing with me at times. Well, the first like season of Game of Thrones genuinely happens over like 6 months, and then in fact I think the whole book series happens over like 2 years, probably a bit more than that actually. It's not actually very long. Oh no, the PM. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, well, we'll see where that stuff goes. Anyway, I think we've got the core audience here, so we may as well continue. Also, the chat is not in a good place for me to try and read it at the moment, but, well, we'll work that out. Come on, load up. Okay. I bet the economy still sucks. Oh yeah, it went up last time. Yay! £2 profit. Swedish League of Women donation. Ugh. The most influential women's rights NGO, the Swedish League of Women, is organising a massive fundraising campaign to raise awareness of Swedish society and has reached out to us personally for a private donation. They get a small one. They get a small one. Start of the day at the palace. Okay, go on. Lucy and I were on our way to my office, and I was holding a mug of coffee in one hand and a folder of various documents in the other. As we turned the corner, Lucian spoke. The Ashraf anniversary is coming up soon. The most important day of the Bloodish populace. Vatani Ashraf is one of the symbols, as you know. Bloodish Carpenter was killed by Swedish soldiers during his protests. Oof. Your presence at this event would show your desire for a more unified Swordland. You'll reap the benefits if you decide to go, I'm sure. Get them back in the fecking kitchen. We don't want to say that. We're nice guys. We're Reddit bros. No one's caused division. Why would I intend the Bloodish anniversary? You're just correct. We rounded another corner to reach the last corridor leading to my office. Lucian suddenly stopped in front of one of the doors. The plaque that once said Vice President Peter Vector had been removed. The door was halfway open and I could see a few workers moving boxes. One of them saw us. He bowed his head and changed the name tag on the door to Vice President Albin Clavin. I heard Albin's voice from inside. "You can leave it there, thank you." He noticed us immediately and made his way. "Mr. President, Lucian." "That is Mr. Gláeddyv to you, Mr. Vice President." "Very well, Mr. Gláeddyv. Have you settled in yet?" "Getting there, Mr. President. This reminds me. Mr. Gláeddyv, please deliver this to my secretary. This needs to be in the hands of the Justice Committee as soon as possible." Lucian's upper lip curled. He and Albin stared at each other down for a moment. "I am not your servant, Mr. Clavin." True, but I am your superior, Lucian." We work with requests here, Mr. Clavin, not orders." Yes, be polite." "Then I request, Mr. Gláeddyv, could you please deliver this to my secretary, please?" "Fine, I will take it. I will see you later, Mr. President. For the Ashraf matter, I will present you with options later." He walked out, leaving me alone with Albin. "Well then, I must get back to tidying up this room. Thank you for visiting, Mr. President. I will stop by as soon as this is done." Just a tiny question, completely unimportant. Who are your allegiances again? For now, I think it's just with Wellen. I think the rest of them got annoyed at me basically because I was an isolationist with immigration. I think Lesbia to the south, I think they were annoyed at me because I wouldn't let them own, I wouldn't let them take a major share of one of the oil companies. Is Stella Creasy the Christian of British politics? Dude, I have seen nothing but her talking about parakeets today. It's been so funny. What's it called? Max Tempers has made her have a meltdown. Doom, much doom? Dude, I'll be fine. Glad to have you here, Albin. He's a bit annoying. Thank you. Albin bowed and went into his room. I entered my office and asked Sylvia for a second cup of coffee to wake me up. Another long day was waiting for me. God damn it. Rain makes donation to Sword of League of Women, yes. Albin Calvin is the Vice President. Looking at the pic objectively, I catch myself thinking that honestly it could have been much, much worse. Okay. Could have picked Mr. Calvin's Conservative counterpart, Gloria Tory, for example, but regardless, we can say with certainty Calvin will be a much better VP than Peter Vector, and it's not going to be difficult, that. Vector was actually awful. How is the seaport not complete? Mediation of a dispute in gendarmerie. Isn't that like the military police? I arrived in the city of Vesord with my new Vice President Albin after receiving an emergency meeting request from Iosif and Lilias. I had seen the report of a recent issue that rose between Swedish police forces and the gendarmerie units at the city. The report said that an operation against a drug trafficking gang in Vesord failed due to miscommunication. Have you noticed how little the bump has been for Burnham, even though reaction online across the spectrum has been, that's it? Turns out Vibes has limits. It depends what polls you see. I've seen one poll where they had a bounce of like 8%. That puts them 28% with Reform on 28%. I've not seen a single one that puts Labour above Reform, which puts me in a good mood, to be honest, but I don't think that's going to last forever. I think give it sort of a month, you'll probably see the two-horse race between Labour and Reform, which is a blessing in disguise, I think, because Reform have been a bit too, well, being a one-horse race isn't great, because you don't really know how to improve from there, do you? Got less vibes than the one in his wife's bedside table. Anyway. We entered City Hall and made our way to the second floor, and I could hear Iosif and Lilias's voices echoing through the hall. I opened the doors in the meeting room. The two ministers didn't even realise. "This is unacceptable! How dare the police meddle in the affairs of the gendarmerie?" It was your men who started this ridiculousness and meddled with an ongoing police investigation. Their voices were getting louder. Rural security is my jurisdiction, and your men were way outside of the sword. We are here to help with the matter. What is going on? Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. Apologies, but Ms. Graff here fails to understand her place. No, Mr. Lancia. You are the one who does not understand his place. If you continue to do so, you will pay for it one day. That's enough. Calm down. I'm trying really hard to stay calm, Mr. President. Mrs. Graff, you are pushing your boundaries. Lilias, what's happened? Mr. Griso was tasked with the investigation of a drug trafficking ring in downtown Vesord. Oh. We found the evidence of a drug stash located in the outskirts of the city. We had to act quickly to put an end to the criminals. We have been watching for some time, so we immediately sent our police units to catch them and found drugs in the compound. Mr. Lancia and his gendarmerie did not notify us that they were also moving against the same target. As a result, criminals got away and we lost months of progress. You went out your jurisdiction to pursue the criminals. Gendarmerie meddled. Isn't there a line of communication between you two? There is, but the Minister of Defence decided to avoid notifying the police department about the planned raid. The same could be said about you, because the report showed that you knew about the gang and the stash in the countryside. I started tapping on the table with my fingers. Alright, how do we make sure this never happens again? I think this was the last drop. Internal security matters should be handed to the Minister of Interior completely. We are called the Minister of Interior for a reason. We can't let more scrubs like this happen again. She looked at me. I want the gendarmerie to be transferred to the Ministry of Interior. What? Woman, are you out of your mind? Eosif turned red with anger, and he composed himself after a moment. For me, what needs to change is not the structure itself, but the problems in it. We need to find out what is causing this and fix it. I believe I just told you how to fix the problem, Mr. Gláeddyv. Please address me as Mr. Vice President, Miss Graff. I simply do not think the ends justify the means in this case. This is not an individual case. This has been happening for a long time, in case you didn't know, Mr. Gláeddyv. Ridiculous. This is an absolutely ridiculous. I won't hand over the gendarmerie to her. It's out of the question. Well, what's your solution? Whenever operations overlap, we should engage at a lower rank with the local officers on both sides. We could work on establishing that, but it still does not change how the wrong system exists now. No matter what, we need to eliminate the grey area and modernize internal security. Oh, now I see what's going on here. Lilias set us up to create this incident. Lilias bit her lips. That is going a bit far. What proof do you have? There is no way the police have arrived at the right time in the month-long search on the exact day and minute the gendarmerie raid. Let's not make accusations like that. GooseSpringsteen, tenor, thank you. Thanks for another great stream and all the accents, Haryan. This is for the future throat operation. I can't do the Yosef accent like I was doing it before. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I can't do like the gruff voice anymore, so I just sound like an idiot. Well, I sound like that for 8 episodes straight. This kind of accusation is unheard of. It's nonsense. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word Mr. Lancia says, Mr. President. Heed my word, Mr. President. When dealing with these situations, you need to always look at who gets what out of it. I'm actually with Yosef on this. Well, did she set this up on purpose? I don't know, and I don't think the game's ever going to address that. But he is right that, oh, this massive screw-up happened, therefore I need all the power. Yeah, not happening. I won't stand idle by these utterly ridiculous and baseless accusations. I don't have time for this. What is your decision? There will be no change in the gendarmerie operations. You are making a mistake. Thank you for protecting the structure and authority of the Ministry of Defence. Work together, don't fight. I won't capable. There is a bigger issue at hand that needs attention. Focus on them instead of each other. Yeah, work together. We will do our best. Right, Mr. Lancia? That's right, Miss Graff. I left the room to attend my next scheduled meeting. Oh, come on. Probably should have let Lesbia have the oil in hindsight. Briefing on the current healthcare situation. Oh, we get poor White House. At a meeting with Pascal to receive annual healthcare report, he arrived at my office with stacks of paper. Mr. President, he put the mountain of paper on my desk and it made a loud thud. I know this seems like a lot. Reviewing it shouldn't take more than a day, though. He measured the pile again. Maybe 2. Very well. Thanks for bringing these in. Not a problem. They contain very important information about the status of our healthcare. Salaries, expenditure, hospital reports, whatever you like. We can go through this together. Alright, let's do it. He continued. But I don't want to bore you, so I'll summarise. Oh, great. It's one of those options in this game where it's like, it doesn't matter what I choose, the same dialogue's going to come out. I breathed a sigh of relief as he put on his reading glasses and looked at the documents he was holding. So, we have concluded our report for the year. Thanks to the allocated funds from privatisation, we have improved the healthcare in the country overall. I've used the resources to begin a comprehensive health reform. We have more patients treated, less waiting times, and higher treatment quality than the years before. Success. Thank you for your hard work. This wouldn't be possible without your wise decisions, Mr. President. We are certainly on the right path to challenge even Lesbia or Vlagsgrad in the matter, but we are not there yet. Valgsland. However, give it a few more years and we might surpass them. We will surpass them, Pascal. Ah, yes, we will. Moving on, our privatisation efforts have both positive and negative effects. It's helped raise further funds that we spend on improving the system. Privatised hospitals open in many places with top-notch equipment. On the other hand, privatised hospitals are rather expensive, even for the ordinary middle class. These are expected growing pains of our healthcare system. Yeah. Agree, and now we need to look at the future. Pascal skimmed the rest of the document before putting it down. The investment we poured into rural health facilities have paid off greatly. Quality of care increased due to the upgraded equipment, and we're able to hire more healthcare staff. Excellent. The people in the countryside deserve it. Inequality is no, it's not. Make sure they know that we're the ones who gave them this. Well, they got what they deserve. Yeah, they've been neglected for a long time due to our political reasons, but not anymore. All these efforts have resulted in a clear increase of quality in health services provided to our citizens. Now that I've given you a short summary, there's a very important matter to discuss. Frickin' hell. Leaning over to grab a briefcase, he pulled out a tan-coloured package. It was stamped with a big red letter that read "Confidential." Pascal opened the package and brought a few documents and handed them to me. I took the documents, and it was a report from the Ministry of Health. Each page had a stamp in it that read "For the President's eyes only." Dreaming of a privatised health system. I know, Satellite, I know. The report was titled "Polio Outbreak." Oh god, this is very concerning. It is, Mr. President. But now it seems to be under control. We have put a few villages under quarantine. The total number of infected is 1,467. Death toll is at 23 so far. If we have more outbursts, the results will be terrible. But we've received additional funding to our healthcare and should be able to curb the infection ratio, although I am afraid that even that might not be enough. It's a very serious matter, Mr. President. The lives of Swedish citizens are at stake. What can we do? Well, we've done our research and there's a cure. Vaccine was recently invented in the United Continental, and the formula has been made available for free across the entire world. No matter what people think about Cortana, if the same thing had happened in Arcadia, they would make us pay a steep price for it. Thanks to the very good decisions made by you to increase funding to our healthcare, we have the capability to produce this vaccine locally. But I'm afraid simply having the vaccines won't help. We need to make sure they're administered. We need to implement a nationwide mandatory polio vaccination policy. With your order, I can immediately get to work and ensure we're doing whatever it takes. This might seem excessive, but it is absolutely necessary. Yep, do it. Do it. Excellent. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get to work. He got up from his seat. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. He left my office, leaving me alone with a lot of paperwork to go through. I swear to God, if that decision means that Cortana, make a brain-destroying serum that I'm actually just giving to everyone, That's not going to be ideal. A pandemic will lock everyone in their homes. Well, not being funny, but that is pretty much what's happened in some areas. Whoops, what's York Trail this? I don't know what that is. Right. Epidemic prevention measures and mandatory vaccine. It good, right, that's good. Epidemic prevented. I am better than Boris Johnson. Meeting with the family. Oh, don't hate me, woman. As I stepped through the front door of our stately residence, a sense of tranquility washed over me. The house was quiet, almost too quiet, without Frank blasting music from upstairs. I entered the grand study and let the warm glow of the room envelop me. Monica was sitting by the fireplace with a very old-looking book in her hands. What are you reading? Oh, I didn't realise you were home. I took some books from the presidential library, and this one in particular caught my eye. She showed me the book she was holding. I didn't recognise the author, but it definitely sounded Valglish. It is about the woman's struggle in post-revolutionary Valgsland, and it's a breakaway state. Are you becoming a communist? I'm surprised we keep any vloggish books on the revolution there. Yeah, go on. To be honest, I was surprised too. I was told it was Talking Sol who collected most of them. Quite unexpected, really. But anyway, is everything going well at work? Especially after everything that happened with Peter. My new vice president's better, I don't want to talk about him. The palace does feel a lot more uncomfortable and intimidating. I wish it all gone differently. Yeah, this guy's better. Is that really how you feel, Anton? He was your closest friend since forever. But honestly, you're probably right. Thanks to you, I was just about the only woman at university he didn't go after. But I saw the way he was and how he continued to be. And the truth is that man had always been a bad influence on you. And I don't think he should be forgiven after what he did. He wasn't forgiven on you because of his problems, but he was, and he's my closest friend I know. I should have listened to you back in the day. Isn't that always the moral of these stories? God damn it, she sighed. I don't know, Anton. All of this seems to have put you under a massive amount of stress. Maybe we can make some time for a little getaway. We can have a weekend retreat at the vineyard in Erleroy. What do you think? Yes, let's do that. Great, she grinned. Just then we heard the patter of small feet approaching the study. Diana had appeared at the door with a piece of folded paper clutched in her hands. Mama, Papa, look what I found! Monica and I immediately turned our attention to her and our curiosity peaked. What have you got there, darling? She unfolded the paper and read it aloud. We hope this letter finds you in good spirits, surrounded by the warmth of your loved ones. Oh, how we long for a world where justice prevails, where the corrupt are exposed and the righteous triumph. Her voice started quivering. We advise you all to tread carefully, for it was Anton Rain who grew the darkness over this land and suffocated our people. For what the President did, he and his family shall face retribution. That's retribution, sweetheart. Yes, retribution, sorry. The safety you have enjoyed so far is nothing but an illusion. Think twice before stepping into our ancestral lands. Danger lurks around every corner, and don't forget the powerful are vulnerable and the oppressed have nothing to lose. Anton! Monica quickly stood up and snatched the letter. It's okay, darling. This is all just a bad joke. She gave me the letter and I immediately read the rest of it. Consider our words, for they hold weight beyond your existence. Your decisions shape the destinies of millions, and the consequences will reverberate through nations. With sincerest concern, the Bloodish Freedom Front. What are we going to do, Anton? This is serious. I'll check with the presidential guards, because that should never have reached us in the first place. Friggin' bloods, man. We can't be too cautious. The letter is directed at our entire... sorry, I'm not doing the accent there. We can't be too cautious. The letter is directed at our entire family, and we know its authors are capable of. Diana was sensing tension and tiptoed closer. Her eyes were wide. Diana, honey, where did you find this? She hesitated before speaking. I found it in the living room window. It was stuck between the frame. Yeah, that's okay, but next time tell us if you see it rather than, anything else. Papa, what's going on? Are they threatening us for something you did? She spoke innocently, but I could sense a new guardedness in her voice, and I took a deep breath and tried to find the right words. So... Some matters are left for grown-ups. I haven't done anything wrong. The people who wrote this don't believe in the authority of our country. I'll go with that one. But that's not fair, Papa. Our country is supposed to protect all of us, right? Sometimes the country doesn't function like it's supposed to, and when it doesn't, it leads to problems with different groups of people. The country is meant to protect its people, but sometimes there are those who challenge its ideals. Yeah, we'll go with that one. What are you going to do? We can't let the bad people win, can we? I will not let them win. We will use every precaution. There's nothing to win, Diana, don't worry. Never mind, dear. We will not surrender to theory or threats. They're not bad people, just people with bad ideas. No. Yeah, we won't let them win. Okay. Monica tugged my arm. Anton, we have to talk about this. You and me alone. So she gestured towards the kitchen. We'll be back soon, sweetie. We entered the kitchen and Monica closed the door. Anton, I know the Ashraf anniversary will take place in a few days, but I don't want you to attend. You know it's the largest ever commemoration of the Izam incident, and it will be swarming with bloody separatists. With everything going on in Bergia and the timing of the letter, it can't be a coincidence. Can't allow fear to dictate my actions. I can't let the bloodish down. You have to trust me. You cannot simply decide that by yourself. This is about all of us. You have to trust me. If there's a threat, I'll handle it. You underestimate our force and the power of the state. You have to understand me. The political mess can only be solved through diplomacy. Yeah, screw it. Why not? I don't really believe that after all the chaos I've seen in the country, Anton, she sighed. Do you think we can trust the Presidential Guard after this? I have great reservations about them after this letter. I'll try and get to the roots of it. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. They're tasked with protecting the family. I'll get to the root of this. You have to do something about our security. Just let me do my job. I will, honey, I will. She did not respond. I knew what I had said hadn't made her feel better, and before I could say anything else, she embraced me tightly. We'll get through this together. We have to. Hey, my wife loves me. How real was the threat to my family, and did I have the power to guarantee safety? I felt a chill run down my spine. That has not moved for ages, man. Come on. Right. The Remembrance Rally of Ashraf Anniversary is about to begin. The Bloodish Movement is holding the largest rally yet to display their demands and strength, and due to the activity of the BFF in the area, the security detail advises to take caution. The administration can go to support the event with or without an armed convoy, or not attend at all. So, I'm too soft on the Bloods. Dude, I killed like 1 million of them in the mountains. What are you talking about? Operation Bear Trap went off. So I'm definitely going. It's just, do I go with an armoured convoy or not? I'm leaning towards an armoured convoy for my own safety, but I understand that is also potentially going to raise tensions. But tensions are already pretty high, and I'd rather, you know, protect myself, so we'll do that. Come on then. On our way to Suzerain, we stopped to meet with the local police chief, Ionis Fizzer, to discuss how the abolition of the zone was faring for the locals. Gotta step on the gas, boy! The city had been of particular importance to the Bloodish people ever since the Izam incident and the death of Watani Ashraf over 2 decades ago. Today we were here to commemorate the anniversary of those events, and there's no picture of him. Boo. The ceremonies were to be held in the aptly named Izam Square, several blocks away from Lake Sol and the sunken ruins of the village of Izam. We entered the historic centre wearing flak vests, transported by armoured personnel carrier. The streets were littered with broken glass and the walls defaced with graffiti. I sensed a heavy regional police presence. A massive convoy could barely thread through narrow streets, disrupting local traffic and creating noisy chaos in the usually tranquil city. They're not going to like that. Pedestrians stared at us in fear as we and our heavily armoured security forces drove toward the square. Oh, I must say this was a good decision, sir. This will help ease the tensions, but I hope bringing this much security won't cause problems. Better safe than sorry. I agree. We're almost there. I hear the crowd. I heard the chants and shouts from outside. Lucian leaned close to the window, listening to the voices. They're telling us to go back where we came from. A large crowd had assembled. I'm not doing this French very well. I'm the only one here that wants the good outcome. Dude, I'm trying to have only good outcomes. I'm just really bad at it. A large crowd assembled in the square. There were probably at least 10,000 people, and most of them were yelling insults and obscenities. As our convoy slowed, a young bloodish man ran to the front of our vehicle and spat on my window. Let him get it out. Our vehicle came to a stop. The security detail left their vehicle with their machine guns openly displayed. I followed them, and the crowd seemed riled up at the sight of guns. Ugh. The crowd before me had their signs in their hands protesting my decision to decentralise Bergia. We were greeted by Mansoon Lek. He wore a coat over his suit, which was marked with a red and turquoise stripe of the Bloodish Movement's flag. He moved forward to greet us. Welcome to Suzerain, Mr. President. Looks like I'm not welcome, only for pleasantries. Take his hand and raise it to display the unit. I'll just shake his hand. Great Teller made the point to reform have 35 to 40% of the male vote, but have 15 to 20% with women, a third remaining undecided. Seems female voters a weakness at the moment. It was always going to be with reform, annoyingly. Problem is, what do you do with it? Because it's really hard to tell what women want. You know, young women are never going to vote reform. Well, you know, most of them aren't. But the older women will, and it's just a question of, well, how would you get them to do it? He pointed at the security guards with guns. I'm not sure how bringing your personal army will help. They're not my personal army, they protect the government. They're here for my protection. Protection from your own citizens. I guess there must be a reason to be fearful. On a day like this, when you want to show support for the murdered Bloodish people, you bring men with guns. I don't know what your intention is, but I only ask of you to at least be respectful during the ceremony. My own intention is to stand in solidarity here. He raised an eyebrow. Mr. Lek. Mr. Gláeddyv, welcome. Shall we move on to the sanctuary then? Let's go. We made our way to the Suzerain sanctuary, which stood at the end of the square. A much smaller replica of the Arch Sanctuary in Dea. The ancient building had a mystical aura emanating from the blackened walls. We entered the building through the ornamented large metal gates. As we walked, the noise of the crowd faded. Everything fell silent for the ceremony. Thousands of candles were burning inside the sanctuary, one for each person that died in Izam. The red candle in the centre was for Vatini Ashraf. Masoon gestured toward the candles. How did he actually die? Like, what? He was shot and killed by a soldier on the 10th day of the protests, and following his death his name became a symbol of bloodish rights. Oh, so he is literally just a guy. Young voters are the biggest problem. Britain is in real trouble a decade when the boomers are gone. That can be turned around pretty much if you get reform in, they're really good and everyone feels like better about the country under reform. You'll just make a load of people right-wing, like what happened with Maggie Thatcher. Like, you know, Thatcher got in generally with a bit of an older vote. And then as people grew up with Thatcherism, they were like, oh, this is great, and all started voting for her more and more. Pick up a candle. He picked up the candle for Ashraf and started walking out. Many others followed suit, including us. The atmosphere outside had completely changed. Not a single noise came from the crowd. We slowly walked towards Ashraf's grave. On the way, hundreds of people joined us. Some from the crowd shouted, breaking the silence. Don't mock the dead, you racist dog! You are defiling that candle with your hands! Before I could react, security forces grabbed the man and dragged him away. Monsoon looked at me with a mix of fear and anger in his eyes, but he knew better than to speak. When we arrived, he pointed a huge standing torch above the grave. Light the torch together. Yeah, we lit it together. I turned around and realised the sheer amount of people who were following us. They were all looking at me, wanting to hear what I would say. Just then, a few BFF flags were waving at the very back of the crowd. Signal to Lucian. He immediately bowed his head towards mine so I could whisper in his ear. Something wrong, sir? There were people in the crowd with BFF flags. I thought security wouldn't allow such a thing. Are you sure, sir? I can't see anything. The police won't allow for those flags here. and the crowd was getting restless. Okay, I'll continue with the speech. Good luck, sir. My fellow citizens, we're here to mourn, name him, and the many others who lost their lives. There were brave men and women who only wanted to protect their land. I condemn the events that led to the loss of these lives. Despite attempts to divide us, our people stand as one. We're sword, blood, we're all under the flag. I show you hatred, anger, I feel it too. I assure you, like red-hot iron, it takes a long time for it to cool, but to those who look at the lost lives and think what would they have wanted. Yes, we're all united. An old man from the crowd yelled, "Your flag! Your nation!" Pay no attention. Let me tell you one thing. I truly dream of a united sword on a country where being blood or sword does not matter. We are the same before God. Remember these words. Love thy brother and sister. We must always stay together in faith. Yeah, I'll bring religion into it. Why not? I feel responsible and ashamed for the actions of my predecessors, and most of all, I feel the desperation to remove this black mark from history. Let's be a testament to our unity in future generations. Mistakes were made. No, it was unity. I need help from each and every one of you to make the country a better place for everyone. The responsibility falls on all our shoulders, because we don't have anyone but each other. Do the first one. Morning will come. There was no reaction from the crowd, only silence. One man broke the silence and shouted, "Do not listen to the murderers," and threw a tomato. It hit the ground right in front of me. "You cannot blame your supporters after trying to kill our language. What were you doing in Welland against our people? You are responsible for the death of thousands." There was a moment of silence, and then the whole crowd erupted. Lucian looked at me worriedly. People started coming closer and closer, chanting, "Yolok Bluderat." I was immediately surrounded by security, the detail I brought with me, and they drew their guns and were pointing at the approaching crowd. "We must leave, sir. Now." I turned to follow him, and just then someone yelled, "Yolok Bluderat," and dashed towards us with a knife. And then the machine guns go off. The noise stopped. I gathered the courage to open my eyes. I looked at the crowd. The man had fallen. The crowd panicked and began to scatter. I saw another body on the ground behind him, and it was a boy. A woman, probably his mother, fell to her knees right next to him and caressed his head. Her scream pierced the panic. Make sure that boy's okay. Everything became a blur. Guards circled around me, shielded me from the chaos, escorted me to the vehicle in a matter of seconds, and I heard more gunshots. Oh dear. Grim, I don't think we got the good ending there. President Rain is simply a coward. He could barely bring himself to leave the throne to join the anniversary of a dead man, and when he did, he was so afraid of the crowd without his armed vehicles and meat shields, he couldn't even walk among the people he was supposed to govern over. One of them did try to kill me, to be fair. Oh, this is going to be good. Go on, brief me on this political situation. Oh, Grim's got to may have such a go, man. I walked to the right room with a cup of coffee. The Vice President had scheduled a meeting on the current political situation. Maybe killing people is bad. Dude, he came at me with a knife! How is that my fault? I'll tell you how that's my fault. It's not my fault is the answer. Killing people's bad, okay? Alvin stood up when I entered the room. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning. This shouldn't take long, I just wanted to go over the current political climate. Mr. Hall told me he's just about finished with his new plan for the economy. He said he wanted to solidify the plan before he presented it. He scheduled a meeting soon to go over our options. Simon's never failed me before. Mr. Hall is a savvy man, and I'm sure he'll deliver as well. Next, it's time to talk about the election prospects. Rookie numbers, what, one boy and one man. There was a sharp, soft knock at the door. I hope it's alright with you that I invited Mr. Gláeddyv to this portion of the meeting. The amount of times I came across Tories who agree with reform across the board but vote for Tories out of duty annoys me. It just depends where they live, annoyingly. I suppressed their language. I'm going to be honest with you, Grim. I forgot I did that. Yes, that's fine. Alvin went to the door and Lucian walked in. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. If Lucian still resented my choice of Vice President, he didn't show it. His tone was nothing but cordial and professional. We all sat down and Alvin handed a new set of documents. Mr. Galvin, I'll let you take a lead on this. Thank you, Mr. Glad. I have just received the results of a voter poll commissioned by Peter Vector shortly before his departure. To put it in plain language, it's not great. Bad even. The USP stands to lose up to 20% of the vote compared to last time. Do we still have a chance, though? We still have a year to gain more votes, but we're going to have to think strategically, which presumably is why you retain the services of your chief strategist. Something to add? No, pardon the interruption. Alvin shuffled the pages around. Looking at the demographics of the voters polled, you've fallen out of favour with Conservatives. Less than half of them are likely to vote for you. The Liberal base is divided, but you do have a considerable number of supporters there. Better or worse, you certainly aren't popular with Nationalists. Really? If you ever had any support from Socialists, you've completely lost it now. Well, yeah. And surprisingly, none of the Bloodish poll respondents said they were planning on voting for you. And lastly, we can't expect votes from centrists and the unaffiliated voters unless we do something to win them over. Go on, what do you suggest? I've spent half my career trying to discern the needs of the Liberal voters and can advise you in that direction if you want. I'd rather hear from Lucian. Thank you, Mr. President. This may sound like common sense, but a convincing enough campaign can succeed where policies fail. Even if you've opted not to focus on your campaign at the moment, I'd still advise you seize every chance for exposure you can. Alright, I'll take that into account. Good. And one more thing. There is a not insignificant portion of undecided voters who don't care who occupies the Maroon Palace as long as the economy runs smoothly. Propping up the economy just ahead of the election is a surefire way to win them over. It's all on Simon, then. Partly, yes. The stability is key to allow the economy to improve further, but the country is still struggling to develop due to instability. There's some worrying news. The Lofferberg group is up to something, and my informants have been talking about frequent meetings happening between the oligarchs. And this covers most of it. Go on, what do the Liberals want? I will say the Liberal base is very concerned with equality. If you want their vote, you need a rock-solid policies on women's rights and human rights in general. Women's rights I can do, that's fine. Liberals love the free market, so if you're anything less than a half-bought capitalist, you're going to have to whip Swordsland's economy into the best shape it's ever been. If you really want to clinch the Liberal vote, well, you could look for an excuse to leave the USP. But that's bound to have other consequences. Yes, that would be unwise. I'll keep it in mind. I've just about had it with the USP. Don't worry, I'm a USP for life. I don't want to call Liberals that badly. Honestly, you're polling so well with Liberals that you don't need to take any of my advice. Just don't tank the economy or oppress anyone too badly, and it'll be smooth waters ahead. Right, thank you. I'll do. Three of us make a good team, I'd say. Neither Alvin nor Lucian responded. I left the room to attend my next meeting. For goodness sake, get over it. Come on, man. Arcadia offers military investment aid. Briefing on increased unrest among the populace. I thought we were over that, man. Government imposed mandatory vaccines. Good. BFF captures Sol Dam. Officials admitted that currently Sol Dam is under control of BFF after a nighttime raid by terrorists. What the hell? The President's decisive action stops polio in its tracks. You're welcome, by the way. Arcasian Foreign Minister Laurette Martel, in concert with Arcasian President Dwight Walker, have extended a significant proportion to bolster our military-industrial complex. The generous aid package encompasses substantial financial blah blah blah. This offer aligns with industrial expansion plans outlined by Minister Holland Manga, aiming to transform Swordsland. Yes, we will improve the military-industrial complex with foreign money because I am mental. Cool, cool. Swedish military industry. Well, let's hope that doesn't start a war. Occasion aid, program industrial revolution. Bolstering Swordland's military industry. You got that right. Right. Reform's issue is economic and that's it. It's their main issue, yes. I wouldn't say that's it, but certainly the one they need to focus on. Briefing the increasing unrest. Go on then. Louise entered my office and took a seat. She was frowning intensely. She didn't talk at first and just fixed me with a steady gaze. And when she did speak up, it was a strained tone. Mr. President, we have a problem. Go on. This just came in. Take a look. I took the document from my hand and started reading. The report was BFF attacks Old Dam, and I looked up immediately after reading the title. Yes, you read it right. The Bloodish Freedom Front has taken over Sold Dam. The dam is providing 90% of electricity to Dojo and its neighbouring regions. They destroy the power station. I don't even want to think about the outcome. No casualties are reported yet. We know they've taken staff as hostages. How did we let this happen? The dam was not necessarily guarded. No one thought they'd be able to hit a power centre. Mr. President, Carl Greaser is on the way here right now and he will tell us what he knows so far. So now I'm locking the door and Carl came in without waiting for an answer and he was out of breath. There he is. He saluted me. Sit, Rep, please. I'm sorry for being late. Carl, I already informed the President of the situation. Do you have updates? We have just received demands from the terrorists. He handed me a file. So I started reading. President Rain, in the name of peace we've taken hold of Sold Dam. The free people of Bludia have suffered enough under the tyranny of Swordland. Our villages are destroyed, men and women assaulted, our children killed by our very own government in the name of this dam. We the BFF are with the people. We the BFF always defend the downtrodden and we fight for freedom. We're not like the Swedish government. We know the compassion and we believe in a chance of reconciliation between people. That's why we're demanding a delegation from the Swedish government to negotiate the price for our freedom. We're ready to sit at the table as equals. Make no mistake, we also know true freedom comes at a cost, and we will not hesitate to sacrifice as many lives as it takes to achieve our goal. Our demands are not met, we will cut off electricity to the entirety of Burju and Nargis. Take that as your final warning. Cause a bloodish insurgency in Swordland. Grim's gonna be on my ass for this one. If Reform go free market, they will lose the North. I don't think the North's that wedded to socialism necessarily. Mahatma should Reform do try. You what? As I thought. Mr. President, the BFF is a threat against our nation. They must be eradicated. We will not negotiate with terrorists. Your orders, Mr. President. Search and destroy, infiltrate the dam quietly and take them out. No need to cause a ruckus. As you command. It's good to see we're taking immediate action. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I had. Heads will roll if this happens again. Understood. Come on, Carl. We're leaving. Mr. President. And they both left. What the f... I hate this game! What am I doing wrong, my dude? Economy, situations. Oh, that's a lot of red. There's an unemployment crisis? Oh. Jeez, I've made it so much worse. Oh, hello, Bob. I killed people. Why does that mean the economy crashed? I get the bloodish uprising. I'm not bothered about... Well, I am bothered about that, but should sort it. Oh, that's so bad. Armed militias. Oh, I should have been harder on the BFF. Frick's sake. In response to a heightened need for security due to the ongoing social unrest, the Grand National Assembly presents the Security Act. Grant security forces discretion to use force deemed necessary to uphold law and order. Authorities suspicion-based arrests and confiscations without prerequisite of a warrant. That's really bad, but basically have to do it at this point. Security forces exercise their authority beyond standard legal limits if such an action is deemed essential for maintaining state security and protecting the general public. The clause reinforces the commitment to safeguard... Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just sign it. Yeah, please. Do it. The radical aren't going to like that. Limited human rights. Oh, God, the Liberals are going to be pissed. Do I know about synergies? No. It's either Raps or Bro comes back. Am I missing something in chat? Labour market collapse drags output. Order central banks to establish a Labour coordination office. So privatisation fragmented the labour force into isolated exploitative silos. Without sectoral coordination, wage stability or collective standards, productivity is cratered. Absenteeism is rising, churn is rampant, and worker confidence is in freefall. Experts warn the national output will continue to decline unless corrective action restores labour cohesion or stimulates demand. I'm not getting re-elected. Well, we may as well go full-blown free market here then. Government washes hands of workers fall. Oh no. Government trusts markets to restore balance. The northeast, in my experience, is economically centrist but socially conservative. It would not be against traditional right-wing policies. Thatcher won in Newcastle with those policies, by the way. Well, I'm not being funny, but, you know, Richard Tice isn't exactly a socialist, and he's very popular in Lincoln. No wonder your economy's cooked. Oh yeah, well, I'm learning very hard lessons this game. Minister Hall and Mega have prepared a massive industrial expansion plan that could support several key industries in the country through state investment. So them become a much more competitive hub for new industries. Yes, electronics? Agriculture might help. We'll do electronics. That seems future-proof. And now we're in debt. Chapter 4, checkmate. Uh-oh. I did complete Chapter 3 and I didn't die. Jesus Christ, that is so bad. That is so bad. What have I done? Oh God, I'm -2 from the government budget. What the hell do the women want? Decisive action against domestic violence, fine. Establish a system of state protection for victims of domestic abuse, fine. Address the issue of wage disparity, fine. Highlight the importance of education and fostering equality, fine. Significant strides towards for working month, just do it. Just do it, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Completely ruin the game. Oh my god. Excellent women's rights, wasn't that nice? And gender equality in education. Well, at least I got something out there, but I have absolutely... Going red is fine. Yeah, that's not my problem, Grim. My problem is that I've been in red for most of my presidency, and not only that, I've never seen it that low. But I've had to inject something into the market, so we'll see what happens. I am Swordland's Keir Starmer. No, I'm Swordland's Liz Truss, my dude. I have completely ruined this. It was raining as Serge dropped me off at home after another grueling day of work. The guard held the umbrella over my head as I walked from my car to the door inside the house, and it was completely dark. I flipped on the light in the kitchen to find a note. Kiara called her in for a last-minute women's rights meeting. Oh, thank God. She dropped her email off at her friends and left me some food for reheating. Put the pot out the fridge. It was filled with an unidentifiable greyish-looking stew. Evidently, Monica's excellent cooking has been the first casualty of her political career. I'll just reheat the stew. While it was heating up, I went to the living room to fix myself a drink, and then the phone rang. Frank's voice on the other end. Oh, I thought Mum would pick up. Sorry, you're stuck with your old man. I didn't mean it that way, I just figured you'd be working. I got the record you sent me. Not bad for old folk music. I'm glad you liked it. How's Uncle Peter doing? Not really heard from him, to be honest. Oh, okay, it's so messed up what he did. I've been seeing this new girl at school. Is she a looker? Ah, she's beautiful. Actually, Dad, she's bloodish. I'm surprised she's interested in you, then. She knows kids aren't exactly extensions of their parents. A lesson you should try learning sometime. She told me a bit about what her family's going through back in Bergia. Dad, you have to stop this. She's got your henpecked already. I'll make sure her family's protected. I'm doing my best, but militants are making it hard for us. You really don't get it, do you? Maybe I'll bring you over for dinner next week. Maybe once you meet her, you'll understand the harm you're doing. I suddenly became aware of the smoky smell coming from the kitchen as my dinner was burning. Well, it's dinner time for me. Okay, bye, Dad. We both hung up. I raced to the stove, turned it off. The bottom of the pot was charred, but the part of the mystery stew was salvageable. I ate alone by the flickering light of the television, wondering when Monica and Deanna would get home. Disonomy's compromised. Trigger 4 late-stage crisis events. Hey, the port's finished. Tourism at average activity. Improved transport links. A debt crisis. Good God. Security Act threatens economy. Swordish debt causes credit downgrade. Oh God. Grand opening of Morna Port. That's fine. Services try to obstruct administration. I have ruined this. This has been so bad. Ashdam Soul security package. President increased security authority. Former VP's gone. President's son dating a bloodish girl. Alright. Thanks, Daily Mail. Oh my God. Solon's debt crash sends shockwaves across. This is so bad. This is so bad. Human dignity bill. I don't want to pass this. So it revises amendment of Section 3 of the 1923 Act, which permitted transactions involving non-registered businesses or other entities to be legalised if proper documentation was submitted. Addressed the loophole which allowed the unregulated continuation of prostitution. Outlines penalties for violation of the bill's provisions. Fine. That all sounds fine. Christ alive, that is so bad. Children of the Future Act. In continuation of the efforts to promote social progress, direct financial support mechanisms for families not falling within medium or high income will issue fixed payments for every child in these families. Ugh, child benefits. And unlocks additional state support aimed at children of unemployed families, providing financing for each child's education. Any special healthcare needs? Go on, I'm already in debt, why not? Do it for the kids. Yay, yay, yay. Look at all that green. Children of the future, good. Traditional values of Swordish law. God. By all accounts, Britain has been heading into economic right-wing for some time. The idea that the North will not follow the pattern as it once voted strongly Labour was always stupid. I mean, it is true that polling is showing that sort of Thatcherism, less spending, less tax is a good way to go. Mounting government budget deficit and unsustainable borrowing have led to concerns among investors and analysts about the nation's ability. You told me I was fine to go in debt, Grim. The kind of economy that makes you want to try and take two small islands from a country that hundreds of thousands of miles away. True. Debts can be paid. I am so screwed, man. This is so bad. By all accounts, Britain has been becoming a... Oh, I already read that. Oh, go on. Storm was on the horizon outside my window. The mood in my office was equally dark, and a storm of a different kind was brewing inside. I'm the one that screwed up. I know. I noticed. I straightened myself on the sofa and looked at Carl, who was sitting on the couch across from me, ready to give me the report from Ashdam. All the rebels were eliminated immediately after 0 casualties from our security forces. At least that's some good news. Also, one of the rebels who died at the operation was identified as the current leader. We'll soon eradicate the group completely. At this very moment, our special teams are raiding numerous suspects in BFF hideouts and find smaller groups before they can reorganise. That's great. I want to hear that. Oh, look at all this bad stuff you're doing to the Bloods. They're killing our people. Thank you, sir. Anything else? That's all for now, sir. I'll get going. Thank God we had some good news. Haryan is currently under complete blockade by the Valgslandian Navy. Blockade is believed to be part of Chancellor Hagel's decision to send troops to seize control of the island. That's annoying. Swordfish Corporation bemoans Women's Liberation Act. Oh, get over it. Rich and standard rates. Whatever. Historic moment for Swordfish women. Cool. Vagsland blockade. Yeah. Okay, is your dual approach to refugees. Cool. Bloodish protest. Immediate BFF threat eliminated. I killed them first. Dude, they were terrorists. Like, what am I supposed to do? Alcohol Tax Act. Yeah, screw it. Yeah. I'm not even reading it. Just give me the alcohol tax. Alcohol consumption reduced. That actually isn't how it worked if you look at Scotland, but anyway. So a fair luxury tax. 15% rate on luxury goods, 10% on estate. Yeah, that's fine. I'll even pay that. Right, I have basically saved the country there, I hope. That's really funny because I've just taxed my own my own alcohol that I make. If you kill terrorists, they win. I killed the bloody first. No. A blood came at me with a knife. They've been causing all sorts of problems. Alright, did I go overboard with Operation Bear Trap? What are these guys doing in the mountains? You know? Everyone is a terrorist. No, just bloodish people. The possibility of funding a political youth group has arisen. Nope. Can't afford that. Emergency call on escalating situation. Oh, a Swordfish plane was shot down. Oh, God. I was working in the middle of the night by a call from the Ministry of Defence. Due to the sensitivity of the information, I'll be urgently briefed in person. I put on my clothes as fast as I could, and I rushed downstairs to open the door, and Serge was there. Mr. President, this way to the car, please. We got into the car and made our way to the Ministry of Defence building without a word. I arrived and was directed downstairs, and I came to a set of large doors and quickly read the sign above them. The sign read Warm Room. The dimly lit room was filled with cutting-edge equipment, the latest video screens, long-range radio electronics and other devices for communication. The centrepiece was a large round table with a coat of arms of Swordland engraved on it. David Lucian, Vulcan and Iosef were already deep in discussion. Mr. Lencia, I advise caution. Going to war would not help anyone. We must maintain peace in Swordland and Eastern Makopa at all costs. What do you expect us to do? Sit around and do nothing? They are testing us. We must respond immediately, otherwise they will think we are weak. Status report. Mr. President, thank you for coming at this late hour. There is a situation. To war? Grim, are you trolling me with that? Because that does not sound like you. Vulcan, please go ahead and provide your report. Mr. President, approximately 20 minutes ago, rumbugged down one of our planes with anti-aircraft fire from the ground. Pilot is KIA. The last recorded position of the plane was inside Swedish airspace. General Kruger, I mean no offence, but are we absolutely sure this is the case? Are you sure this happened within our borders? No offence taken. Here are the locations on the map and the report from the airbase. Points to the several marks in the map. To answer your question, yes, we are absolutely sure. You can see here on the map that the plane downed approximately 10 kilometers inside the border. We have calculated the trajectory of gunfire and they started firing when our plane was within our border. The plane was down near Haryan. Well, this is an attack against our sovereignty. Mr. President, I must insist. We need to be calm and we must maintain peace. I agree. They are trying to lure us into their trap. We have enough military power to contest against this violation of international law. We should attack and down one of their planes in retaliation. Otherwise we will look weak and it will lead to more casualties. We can't look weak. If we appear weak, they will jump on the opportunity. We must order a military retaliation immediately. I agree with the General. Mr. President, our army is ready to do whatever it takes to protect Swordland. Gentlemen, before it comes to that point, we can prevent further bloodshed by using diplomacy. The room fell silent before Yosef finally spoke up. If you win, it is your only hope. Do the peace path. Right. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Just gonna go silent for a sec. Does that work? Okay, there we go. You've got a poll, lads. The room fell silent before Yosef spoke up. Mr. President, what are your orders? This is going to be very fun, I think. It's 12 people watching, half of you voted. If the rest of you can vote, you know, if I get 12 votes, well, if I get over 10 votes, I'll consider that done. And I can't see the results yet, so I will wait. Epic poll. I don't think he can win, he's screwed either way. Oh, this is fun. Right, that'll do. 50-50, you guys suck. Come on. We have, you have allies for war. I do have Wellham. I don't really have the others, but I might force their hands into helping me. People forget that Kent and Essex used to be good labour areas. Thatch came along and changed the culture of the areas. Reform already did that with the North East. It's been amusing to watch. It's possible to win. You need a good economy for war. Believe it or not, that's not necessarily true. But it's 50-50, which means... Right, we'll see what the options are here. That is so bad. Start Swedish war machine, prepare to invade. Eye for an eye, retaliate with equal force, display our strength. We'll approach this diplomatically to try and de-escalate. No one wants war. What makes a man true neutral? Gold, lust for power? I do not what? What don't? I do not. Grim, what do you mean? Oh, you don't? It's not a hard requirement? You mean the economy isn't a hard requirement? Well, we're going to take down a plane. Let's retaliate. Very well. If there is to be a retaliation, we need to be extremely careful. They will seek every opportunity to blame us for it. We can't further escalate the situation and destabilise the region. We need to prevent war at all costs. I'm saying this as a man who has lived through too many years of war. We are not the ones who escalated the situation. They shot first. Mr. President, I assure you they won't dare attack us for that. They know we are far superior. This will send a strong message. I'll send the word to start the military operation. And our target will be their warplanes and an airbase near the border. I still think the peaceful solution would have been more beneficial, but of course I don't have the military experience and insight Mr. Lancia has. I will begin my task immediately, Mr. President. Has war ever gone well for a leader? No. Sorry, Falklands and Thatcher. I rest my case. I love how Portrait's still got it as well. I will bring the paperwork. Sign off on the operation. Military state. Yes! Now the paperwork is done, I have an idea. I think we should hold a military parade to should display our strength. I'm with Mr. Lancy on this one. This should work well as a deterrent, and it will come in handy as a tool to de-escalate. That's a good idea. Simple and effective, without causing ruckus. Right, make a parade then. Understood. That's all, Mr. President. I'll keep you updated on the situation. For now, have a good night's sleep. You will need it. But I couldn't sleep all that night. God, the economy is just terrible. Urgent meeting on potential allies. I was sitting right across from David in the White Room as he scheduled an urgent meeting. He knew the matter must have been serious. I knew, sorry. You aren't Winston Churchill, man. Yeah, I am. Look at me. What do you mean? Look at that portrait. That is literally Churchill. Anyway, they all entered the room. Mr. President, we came as fast as we could. Mr. President, Mr. Visky, what is going on? David cleared his throat. Welcome, everyone. Due to the potential ramifications, I wanted to present everyone to be present for this meeting. We received an envoy from Arcasia. They request a state visit. Judging from the current climate, it's not hard to see what it's about. The ATO is always trying to expand its influence after all, and they will most likely try to convince us to join. In addition, as part of this state visit, Dwight Walker will of course meet with you in person, Mr. President. Well, I want to meet him too. With all due respect, are you out of your mind? Mr. Lancia. Let him continue. This is madness. We cannot even consider accepting this. I bet you will come asking for our cooperation under the guise of enforcing the demands to join ATO. This will antagonize half the world against us, and we are going to be at the forefront of the battle. If you are approaching this from the perspective of national defense, then don't. We are in a better shape than we've ever were before. I assure you we don't need any outside help, and definitely not from Dwight Walker. We will make do somehow. Let's see what he wants first. He will need to be careful. Timu Churchill. Good God. Mr. Walker never gives anything for free. There will be some concessions for sure. Mr. Visky, you are our most experienced foreign policy expert. What's your take on this? What do you think is the right action? Rumburg is bound to increase diplomatic pressure in the upcoming AN meeting. Back channels are reporting rumours about Queen Beatrice Livingston meeting with military leaders in Thornburg. I'm afraid it might not be possible to stand against Rumburg without strong allies. Soon we will have to take a side in the global rivalry to avert the potential conflict with Rumburg. And I recently found out a planned meeting between the Queen and Chairman Menelev of United Cortana. The ATO and President Walker might be the necessary evil to stop things from worse things from happening. I say we should consider the offer very seriously. Why are you using German accents when the Swordfish is supposed to be Turkish without the Islam? I'm just kind of doing voices that I think they'll sound like. None of this has particularly been consistent, to be honest. You know, there's some Russian, there's some French, there's some German. Visky's supposed to be, I guess he's supposed to be sort of Dutch. Yeah, I guess he is sort of German. What do you think, Lucian? We heard our experts. You are the one who has to decide, sir. Accept the offer. We will send a response immediately. Then there is the tiny detail we need to get over with it. How should we welcome the delegation? Make it extravagant, military welcome order, plain welcome. No, make it extravagant. As you wish, I've taken note. I think that is all for today. Thank you for attending. As we dispersed, the world map hanging on the wall in the room caught my attention. I walked over to it. Often were the lines on the world map redrawn over the recent decades, and what about the future? I should have read the law, really. The Bloodish problem. Swordsland has a complex relationship with the Bloodish, with discrimination and unequal treatment being a persistent issue. The Bloodish people continue to face systemic barriers to education, employment, and political representation, led to a growing sense of frustration. Yeah. Limited security powers. Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm afraid we are a military state. Alright, President Walker. The door of the car opened and flashes went off. Dwight Walker, President of Arcasia, headed to the ATO. Oh my god, he looks like Alistair Campbell. Ew. Smiling and waving an enormous crowd that gathered, it was not every day Arcasian presidents came to Swordland. Both sides of the maroon carpet leading up to the palace were lined with soldiers wearing military uniform of the Kingdom of Swordland era. They had swords, shields, spears, and some of them were on horseback. As soon as President Walker stepped on the carpet, children appeared and showered the road with roses, and he slowly walked towards us. It was then the centuries-old sword dance started, and the show took a minute at most, and the President Walker watched it quietly with a stern face. Lucy approached my side. "Is welcome to your liking, sir." As long as it does the trick, I don't care. I'm sure it will. Seeing President Walker was approaching, Lucian stood back. Finally, I was in reaching distance to one of the most powerful men in the world. He looked at Monica first, bowed and kissed her hand for a second longer than I'd like. "Mr. Rain, if you told me I would get to meet with your lovely wife, I would have come sooner. I'm charmed, Miss Rain." "Oh my, thank you, Mr. Walker. It's a pleasure to meet with you." "No, pleasure is all mine, Miss Rain." "I hope your wife and your family are well." "They are very well, Miss Rain, thank you. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it here today. And what do we have here? Mr. President, it is so good to finally meet with you." We shook hands. "It's really good to see you, Mr. President. I assure you the feeling is mutual, and that's why I'm here, in fact." We started walking toward the reception hall in the palace, and our path was cleared of people at once. We were simply looking around the extraordinary interior design of the Maroon Palace. Statues, paintings, and various ornaments filled both sides. We passed the corridor and entered the reception hall. The crowd inside was composed of various politicians and state figures. Upon entry, they started clapping. Dry martinis were handed to both of us. "Everyone, let's give a warm welcome to our guest of honour." People started clapping. "Thank you, President Rain. It's really good to be here." "The Bloods have WMDs. Your minister is going to sex up a dossier and say that they have WMDs." Thank you, everyone, for the warm welcome. With another thunderous round of applause, the jazz band started playing. Walker and I separated and started mingling with the crowd. The reception was in full swing. After some time chatting with the attendees, Rain Walker approached us and bowed before my wife. "Miss Rain, can I call you Monica?" She looked over at me before smiling at him. "Yes, of course. If I can call you Dwight." He took her hand and they started dancing, and I turned around to talk to the waiter. It was my third martini when I heard the whistle. I turned around and saw Monica dancing very closely with President Walker. All eyes in the room were on them. President Walker grabbed Monica's waist. "President Walker, why don't we have a chat somewhere quiet?" interject and dance with Monica yourself, finish a martini. "Hello, Mr. Walker, why don't we go somewhere else?" Right. When we were getting to the good part. Fine, let's have a chat." Such a sex pest. President and I swapped our drinks for Earleroy Maroon 30-year-old. I knew a special spot. With our drinks at hand, we went down the stairs to the basement. Gradually, the music and the sound of the party started to fade away. Right, it goes to a little corner office with not much inside other than a table and comfortable chairs. He took a seat and I followed suit and pulled out 2 cigars. "I will take one." I don't smoke. I smoke in my portrait. The Blood is weeks away from nuclear weapons. I heard that rumour too. He pulled out a Rippo lighter and lit my cigar before lighting his own. "I heard you got into a scandal with something about a secretary." Yes, unfortunate chain of events. Indeed," he grinned. "Relax, it's just a scandal. I'm no reporter. I just made it out alive of a bad one myself. Oof, it was a rough one too. You get used to it. A couple of people in prison, a couple of people silenced, you know the drill. Cheers to your survival, Mr. Rain." We clinked glasses and took a sip. This is a really good one. Very smoky. I like it. Never had an Earleroy Maroon before? Took a puff of his cigar and filled the small room with smoke. Definitely miles better than Vagslandian whiskey. But I like lesbian whiskey more. Pairs better with the cigar. You see, Mr. Rain, whiskies are a little bit like countries. Some are strong, some are weak, some are older, some younger. Many complex, but sometimes simple is best. I personally like stronger whiskies in general. That's why I like this one. Yes, it's definitely promising. So whatever you drink in the end, it all boils down to your own tastes, and I assure you, Mr. Rain, my sense of taste is very refined. What type of whiskey do you like? I like the stronger ones too. A man after my own heart. He tucked his tie loose. You know why I'm here. I want to make you an offer. I'm listening. Good. Listen closely. Times are changing, and so is the balance of the world. So instead of a fractured world, we will see a more united one. There is us, ATO, against them. I want you on our side. The winning side. I think there is much we can achieve together, and you have shown me the proof. If you accept, I would like to extend you a warm welcome to the ATO as a full member state. This comes with privileges and responsibilities. We protect each other, and we have a mutual defense clause in the case of war. Join us, Mr. Rain, and you will have the Empire backing of ATO. Soldiers, jet fighters, warships, whatever you like. During peacetime, you will see the effects even more. Our combined production output will benefit Swordsland and the ATO. We have free trade zones, free visa access, investments, you name it. All I ask is mutual loyalty to one another. The Soldiers Armed Forces will be a member of the ATO. All branches will be it Air, Navy or Army, will collaborate in the Alliance network, and we will provide assistance and training for free. Our armies will learn how to fight together and be stronger than ever in the face of the Maniavist threat. Let's make history. Tonight, what do you say? Grim's not here to tell me this is a bad idea. Is that all you're asking for? Is expecting more? I assure you... Yeah, no. We'll join. I say aye. That's what I'd like to hear. We stood up and shook hands. Welcome to the ATO, Mr. Rain, and welcome home. Cheers to a newfound partnership. We clinked our glasses and downed the remaining whiskey. Now it's starting to taste better. Let's go upstairs, Mr. Rain. We have much to discuss, but importantly, to celebrate. Besides, I have a few more dance moves to show off. Oh my goodness me, that is a lot of changes. Swordsland joins the ATO. Administration mounts his Swordsland ATO membership. Trade Initiative, excellent. ATO member, excellent. Embargoed by Cortina, don't really care. Caucasian influence, fluctuating energy prices, well, that's slightly better. Military support, strategic alliance. That'll have got their goat. You think you see where this is going? Dude, I've crashed the economy. The only way I can make Swordsland survive is by basically making it join the EU, I'm afraid. I have completely ruined this. ATO officers, cool. Cool with Evelyn Vectorn. Has he killed himself? Midnight I was in the living room watching the tail end news report and I heard the phone ring. I sighed and walked over wondering who could call, and I picked up. Hello, who is this? I heard a soft voice at the other end. Hello, Anton. This is Evelyn. Sorry for calling so late. Something wrong? I don't know, actually. Go on then. The thing is, I was supposed to meet with Peter today and hand him the signed divorce papers, but he didn't come to our meeting point. I figured he might have been too drunk to remember, so I went to the apartment he's been renting, but he wasn't there either. I asked around, the landlord, neighbours and friends, but no one knows where he is. Trust me, Anton, I couldn't be more excited to be rid of the man, but I can't close off this chapter of my life without his cooperation. It's probably just with some other girl, probably shouldn't say that to her. I don't know, Anton, he was in bad shape after your press conference. He didn't kill himself, oh dear. Can't you just get the police contacts to look into this? Just to be on the safe side. Alright, I'll get the police on it. Thank you, Anton, that'd be great. I knew, by the way, about his affairs. I'm so sorry I never came to you with it. Never had any idea he was cheating on you. You know, I would have come to you about it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just say I'm sorry. Thanks, I guess. Her voice sounded tired. Get some sleep, Evelyn. Goodbye. The line dropped. As I put down the phone, Monica sleepily approached with a glass of water. Who was that? Is everything alright? It was Evelyn. She said Peter was missing. Missing? Drowning in his sorrows, I wager. I'm surprised she still cares about him. Well, she was a good influence on him. For a while. She made her way upstairs. I'll call Carl. Yes, Mr. President. Sorry for calling this late. Not the problem, sir. I only sleep for 3 15-minute intervals per night. What can I do? I need to find someone. Would you wish? I heard the faint rustling of a notepad being opened. Who do you want found? The ex-Vice President. At your command, I will report my findings shortly. Thanks for your help as always. Have a good night. He hung up, put his phone away and went down to the bedroom to get some sleep. As I was eating breakfast the next morning, the phone rang, and it was Carl. Good morning, Mr. President. Morning, Carl. This isn't easy for me to say. I have some unfortunate news. His wedding ring, a half-empty bottle of pills, and a handwritten note were found on the bridge overlooking the Ungo River. I will surmise that he took his own life. You lied to me, chat. He did kill himself. I see. What did the note say? He wished for it to be read by Evelyn alone, sir. Would you like to break the news to Mrs. Vecton, or should I? I'll tell Evelyn. Thank you again. Of course, sir. Carl hung up with a heavy heart. I started thinking about what I should say to Evelyn. Well, it's his own friggin' fault. Peter Vecton commits suicide. Former Vice President's suicide confirmed. This didn't need to happen. Okay, I know. What? Like the mum was self-destructive. Like the whole time I knew him. Sorry. You know. Let's go to the funeral. Former Vice President unfortunately passed away. Preparations are being made. His body being readied for a final journey. State could choose to honour his services. Yeah, do a state funeral. Whoopsie daisies. Our convoy pulled up to the gate of the National Cemetery in Erleroy, Peter's hometown. Monica and Diana were behind me in the car. The news of Peter's death hit Frank especially hard. Rather than attend the funeral, he'd taken a few days off from school to have time to himself. That's fair enough. Monica looked numb and empty. Diana appeared to be deep in thought. How did Uncle Peter die? Why won't anyone tell me? Monica looked like she was about to cry. It doesn't matter, sweetheart. She turned her head to look out the window, hiding her tears. I'll hug me wife. She hugged me back tightly. Papa, tell me the truth. He killed himself. You'll understand when you're older. That's not fair. I'm almost 12. She's 12? The driver windows rolled down. We've arrived, Mr. President. My deepest condolences. I knew you two were very close. You're right, we were. Serge went outside and opened the door, and as soon as we stepped out, camera flashes went off. Evelyn was waiting for us, and upon seeing her, Monica ran up and they hugged. Evelyn, I'm so sorry. How are you holding up? So, it's hard to play the bereaved widow, knowing the kind of man he was. But still, we were married almost 20 years, Monica. And the way he died, it was just too sudden. They hugged again, and Evelyn wiped tears and patted Diana on the head, turning to me. I'll hug her as well. I hugged her. She took my hands in hers and pulled me back. I know there's nothing either of us could have done, but I still can't help feeling responsible. Well, it's not your fault. Evelyn swallowed hard, her eyes filled with resolve. Alright, let's go. It's in the Epstein file. The four of us, Evelyn, Monica, Diana, and I, took our place toward the front of the crowd. From afar we heard the sound of military boots approaching. A soldier was leading a group with a large frame photo of Peter in his hands. Behind him followed other soldiers marching alongside with a cart and a carved grate on the front. On top of the cart wrapped a Swedish flag and was the coffin of Peter Vecton, 4th Vice President of Swordland. I got to explain what suicide was at school at age 7 because our caretaker hanged himself in the boiler room. I see. That's interesting. The group stopped in front of us. They lifted the coffin up and laid it down on a platform. One of the soldiers took a flag, folded it and presented it to me. I walked behind the podium to deliver the speech. Today we mourn Peter Vecton, the 4th Vice President of Swordland, and a true sword who and was a very successful statesman whom I worked with very closely. God's word says no man can be perfect, and Peter was certainly no exception. We drank together. He was there for me at the very beginning, and he swore he would support the cause until the end. Though we did not always see eye to eye on everything, I would be president. Well, we still remember him, not as his worst, but no, we'll do the I wouldn't be president without him. The path he paved will go down in history. Morning shall come. Everyone in the crowd yelled, "Victory is close." Amid applause, I went back to join Monica and Deanna. As I walked past Evelyn, she mouthed the words, "Thank you." Trumpets cut through the silence. Stern-looking soldiers formed a line. They held rifles in front. One after another, 10 shots rang. With each shot, I shuddered. I'd known Peter for 30 years. The time we spent together flashed back before my eyes, and the good memories and the bad ones, all of it. It didn't matter anymore. He was gone. I felt a tug on my left arm. "Are you crying?" Surprised, I checked my face and my eyes were wet. It's raining. That's a full Metal Alchemist reference. What a show. I might watch that again, actually. She looked up to the sky. "Papa, it's not... come on, Deanna, let's go." The coffin was fully lowered and the tombstone placed. The crowd began dispersing. I'll leave a bottle of whiskey on the grave. I stayed there by myself for another half hour and the sun finally set after painting the sky blood red. Rip. Rest in peppers, you horny man. Yep, used to have a state funeral. Rumborg informant and adulterer to be awarded with state funeral. I'll give them that one, to be fair to them. Late nights at the Rain household. It had been a while since Peter disappeared from our lives, and I still found myself hang on, how's the economy? It's so bad. I still found myself thinking of jokes he'd find funny or wanted to tell him what happened with my last meeting, but the grief began to fade. Oh, he must remain president. Now he has the power of God and anime on his side. Monica visited Evelyn often at first, helping her process her mixed emotions. Eventually, Evelyn sold Peter's villa in Erleroy and used the proceeds to travel the world, something she always wanted to do, and she and Peter were together. Myself and Monica, though, life in the capital had to go on, and it did. The weeks of late nights, Monica, Chiara, and the Women's Rights Commission had succeeded in getting their bill through the Assembly. It was as comprehensive as they could hope for, and I was looking forward to celebrating with my wife. But it had been hours since I'd gotten home, and she still wasn't there. I was dozing on the couch after yet another frozen TV dinner when I heard the key turn in the lock. "Honey, I'm home." I will kiss her. Her breath smelled like gin. Classic. I was just having a few drinks with Chiara. "I can't believe we did it, Anton. This is such amazing news," she hiccuped. So you decided to get juiced. Well, yes, isn't that what a man would do? I'm starting to see what I put you through all those years. Ugh, get used to it, baby. Seriously, Anton, this is what I want to do. Never felt so alive. Give her a hug. She wrapped her arms around me tightly. Now all we have to do is make sure you'll stay in the office. Well, with you by my side, how could I lose? Monica smiled, took my hand and wordlessly led me up the stairs to the bedroom. Giggity, giggity, giggity. Sworland's largest military parade. Kiba condemns BFF terror. Oh, whatever. Workers' Party of Bloody Earth have more members than ever. Actions have consequences. Sworland shoot down Rumbug warplane in retaliation. Huzzah! Oh my god. How am I supposed to make an election speech when I have done nothing but make... I have ruined the economy. Oh, this is so bad. Sorry I screwed the economy. The sun was setting, starting to peek through the blinds of my suite in the Grand Chariot Hotel. I hadn't slept at all that night. I was too busy to think about how I'd rally my party's Conservative base. I was just pulling my clothes when two soft sharp knocks came at the door. "Good morning, sir." I hope you brought coffee. Lucian sat down in the suite's office chair and pulled a piece of paper from his jacket. "I just thought I'd drop off some talking points for your speech today." Just like old times, indeed. 4 long years ago. You ready to hit the campaign trail again? I'm ready if you are, Mr. President. I'll see you at the rally. I almost forgot. The Archpriest of Dare couldn't be present today, but wanted to relay a message of support to you and your family. What did he say? I bless the rains down in Anrika. What the... No! Oh my god. I want to know, developers, what came first? Did you call me Anton Rain and not let me choose my name at all for that line? Is that what you wanted? Did you want a friggin' Toto by Africa reference? I bliss the rains down in Africa. Oh, that was awful. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of USP. Oh, God. Anyway, Lucian left the room and I finished putting my tie on and read the notes of the morning speech. 3 hours later, I was waiting in the wings at the Nordsword Auditorium in Anrica. In the audience were several thousands of Conservative supporters, and behind the podium hung the Swedish flag and a giant banner that read... for United Swordland, we'll do that one. Anrica Mayor Curtin Lest made a few brief introductory comments, and it was hard to forget how the Benfey event went down. Alvin gave a short speech introducing me, and then it was my turn. Sons and daughters of Swordland. The past 3.5 years have seen our country tested again and again. The past 3.5 years have been the hardest of my life. Many enemies have tried to destroy me and this fine country. Yet I stand before you now ready to pledge myself to God and Swordland yet again. With my re-election, I will finish pulling Swordland's economy out of the depths. I've begun to fix disastrous... God. Together we will get the economic crisis under control. We'll do that top one. As armed militants threaten to tear us apart, I promise I will uphold law and order. As violence on the streets threatens to tear apart, I promise I will restore harmony. I'll do that one. Brought change to a broken constitution, I've successfully reformed. I look forward to presiding over the implementation of much awaited constitutional reforms. They didn't want reforms though. I'll do the broken constitution one. I'll continue to root out corruption and wrongdoing. I remain committed to stamping out the corruption that's plagued Swedish corporations for too long. I'll do that one even though I've taken bribes. Swordland has changed, the USP remains strong. Some have accused me of straying from the values of the USP, but I am the USP. I'm not saying that one. That's just stupid. There's been tremendous progress made. I promise you there's no way we can lose. I've devoted an unprecedented amount of effort toward making Swordland's economy the best in the world. We will not lose. Probably shouldn't have said that. I am Vice President Clavin. I won't mention that. The youth and determination of my new Vice President will help guide us into a brilliant future. A roar shook the hall. We will form a broad coalition of supporters to make it come. It's time our fellow swords' new dawn is upon us. It begins right here, right now. I'll do that one. A Mogna Vescor. The audience enthusiastically finished the saying. A stream was shot out of the cannons behind me. My re-election had officially begun, and I stepped down from the podium. Well, that went quite well. Policy update, market economy. In line with the market, Swordland is empowering individual citizens. That took a while. It's gone down even friggin' further! Oh my god, this is so frustrating. Literally, what do I need to do? I guess it's Bergia that's ruining me. Red youth and young swords fight. Well, they will do that. Briefing on the economic situation. Go on, tell me how I've screwed up royally. I arrived at the Ministry of the Economy and proceeded upstairs. An assistant waited by the door in the meeting room, took my jacket. I opened the door and entered the largest boardroom in the building. Sam was sitting alone with a glass of water. Oh, God. He stood up when I entered and approached me after a quick handshake and took a seat. Good afternoon, Mr. President. How's it going? Pretty swamped with work, barely getting any time with the family. The Gláeddyv's voice was barely disguised. The knock was heard at the door and Alvin entered. Sorry, I got held up. Did you start yet? Mr. Vice President? No, not yet. Now that everyone is here, let's begin. As you know, we're here to review the economic progress we've made over the past term. I'll brief you quickly on what we have done so far. Go on, let's hear it. Average African economy, stop it. He gathered his documents. From the pile he produced 2 booklets. Our extra focus on the economy has resulted in some small-scale positive growth. The extra resources have been a boon to my ministry. It would be great if we followed up this focus during our next term. Let's take a deep dive into details. Then to page 5. Let's start off with the economic plan. I'm glad to say that we are on track with our initial plans for our market economy. Most of our decisions have been pretty consistent. I need to make sure that follows through. I agree completely. We still have a lot to do. That's what I'm here for. Let's move on. If I were to describe what we've done, I would say it's very close to a laissez-faire economic system. I'll turn to page 16. States of trade and effects of foreign policy. I'm happy to say that our trade has increased since the beginning of our term. We are on the right path. More trade means more vibrant economy, which means more unbridled economic development. This is not reflecting in the economic stability at all, by the way. When am I going to get the headshot? Our attempt to repair Swordsland's economic system went for a mixed approach, and we tried to cater to the needs of both business and Swordish citizens. In a delicate balance, and the bad news is our living standards are decreasing. We've been receiving more and more complaints about the welfare system. It's not good, neither for the people of Swordsland nor the re-election. It's a cliff now, not a slope, I know. Meanwhile, businesses are enjoying a lower tax rate compared to the start of our term. Some of our industries have been knocked down to their knees by recent tax. The demand for these goods has increased dramatically, which led to businesses being shut down. Some people are calling for the government out over infringing their personal liberties. Apparently even filed lawsuits saying the taxes violated human dignity. The lawyers argued for them that we need a mental health treatment. What the family? Production in our country is near doubled since the start of our administration, which is great success. Couldn't have asked for more, good work. We can do much more. Let's aim to double that next term. Teamwork will make it happen. On logistics, our situation has improved above and beyond expectations. Why am I hearing nothing but good news about the economy, and yet I've got a graph that is basically a ski slope? What the hell? Our infrastructure project has paid off in the long term. Smoother commutes, easier access, faster delivery times, and everyone's happy. We're very close to the end. I want to talk about a few numbers. I've prepared the chart. Our inflation rate is currently a staggering 49%, way up from 10. It might be the highest in Swordsland's history. The rent has been widely fluctuating as a result, and consumer prices have gone up. Well, they're annoyed. Just, you get good news. Production has doubled. I let the central bank try and curb inflation. What the hell was I supposed to do? We need to fix that then. If I go, they're going to say it's fine at first. Mr. President, do you have any questions? What's our debt situation? Our debt is at 513 billion Swordish Ren, which is more than the 427 billion at the beginning of the term. The budget is down from where we started, and I will still consider this an economic loss as we inherit a recession. We essentially increase the possibility of an uncontrolled debt spiral. What about unemployment? It remains steady at 16%. Stagnation is mostly due to a lack of investment and average economic planning. What about the latest number of our GDP? Our GDP is at 141 Ren, a major decrease from 310. This Sorry, this is making no sense with like, oh, here's like everything from the first like 20 pages, 50 pages even, literally all good news. Literally all good news. You get here and it's like, nah, inflation's mental, mate. As per the latest stats, the economy shrank 18% in the last 4 months. In short, we are suffering from a decreased economic capacity. Well, that's all the questions. I want to quickly highlight our budget expenditure. My numbers indicate overall we've been fairly balanced in spending government budget. A balanced approach is good, however, we shouldn't forget that money is not spent on just a piece of paper. Going into election and hopefully a second term, we need to decide the way forward. One thing's clear, we need a bigger budget. We should start our next term with a budget deficit. Sorry. What shall we do, Mr. President? Take an international loan from the MFI, nothing comes to mind. What do you expect them to say? Everything is effed. So they're trying to give you good news first. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that economically it's like, right, here's all the details of the economy, they're all really good. It's not fixed unemployment and made a debt spiral. It's mental. Anyway, I'm taking a loan. This will pose quite a risk to the reputation of our administration, but it can be done. I'll get right on it after this meeting. Now that's out the way, during our first term we faced many challenges amid the recession. Oh, come on. The good news isn't that good, and the bad news is really bad. We doubled production. What do you mean? This is more a criticism of the designers of the game, where effectively I basically feel like I can't have... I'm sure I can do, and I'm sure there's people who've played this game where it's like, oh, look at that, we've got an excellent economy. I'd be shocked if there's not a way to do that, but having said that, how can I get all that, like, good news that fine wasn't, like, that good? Like, why is the economy still going downhill? I've followed all these people's advice, by the way, as well. I want to make that clear. What did I do to F this up so badly? I don't really know. I need details. I need you to say more than just I effed up, because I followed these people's advice, generally. Mr. President, you may have summarized from the numbers I've given you the economy has worsened considerably over our administration. I want to prepare you for the truth. This is no longer a mere recession. We've entered a period that historians might reasonably refer to as the Great Depression. We have broken our promises and failed our people. My only hope is that future generations will be able to forgive us. We've done all we could. This is my fault. I made decisions that was here. I could throw him under the bus, because I did follow his advice. That was my first mistake. The game is biased for a planned economy, which Grimm is saying it isn't. If there's a way to have a good economy through free market, how the hell hasn't this worked? I increased useless stats and destroyed important stats. I focused on production and energy. How are they useless? I'm really annoyed about this. I might make him resign, though. I mean, I kind of have to after that. That is absurd. The graphs got so bad it doesn't even incorporate the time I had a stable economy. Yeah, I'm making you resign. What? But Mr. President, please think about this. Mr. Hall is an extremely capable man, and we can't lose him for the upcoming turn. Fine, you can stay for now then. Of course, Mr. President, I'll redouble my efforts. I promise. I can vouch for Simon, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I shall get back to my office. That's all then. Thank you for coming. International IMF loan. It's not great. It's not terrible though. Scheduled television interview. God damn, that's gonna be so fucking hard. You've done it. I don't understand what you did. You have to, like, show me how you did that. You've done most stuff in the game. Well, no wonder you know more about it than I do. Our nation will recover. Absolute ski slope. Like, so bad. I've got almost every Swordland achievement. Alfonso Foundation, expand to reach Anrica and Arcasia. Tensions boil over and what they would do. Ugh. You screwed up too. Well, I suppose your point of you followed their advice, that was a bad move all in all. I suppose there's a point there. Anyway, let's do the television interview. The makeup crew just finished their preparations. Lucian stopped me on the way to the balcony where the filming crew stood ready. Are you ready for the interview, sir? I'm not even sure if this was a good idea. Trust me, sir, I've done my best to make this happen. It's very important for the administration. The crew is prepared to start filming. Mr. Saka is excited to interview you. Wow. I explained before it would be bad press to decline the offer. They are the most prestigious interview program, and they are for Kairut. The country is known for neutrality. I don't think there will be too much pressure. Fine, I'll handle it. I walked to the balcony and sat on the seat prepared for me directly across from Mr. Saka. Mr. President, welcome to One-on-One. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Let us begin with the latest incident between Sordland and Rumborg. An aircraft of the Swordish Air Force was shot down by Rumborgian anti-air guns a few weeks ago. Officials from the Rumborgian government proclaimed the aircraft was flying inside the airspace of Rumborg. Just a few days after the incident, Swordish anti-air guns shot down the Rumborgian airplane. This time your government proclaimed exactly the same, whilst Rumborgian government insisted that the plane was inside their airspace. Many argue that this was not a coincidence and that Swordish army acted intentionally in retaliation. Did you give such an order? Their claims is nonsense. Well, the plane was shot down inside the borders. But what about the attack from your side? That doesn't seem like an accident. Why aren't you asking about the first attack? They started it. The plane breached our airspace. Our forces only acted in response to that. Are you saying the Rumborgian officials are lying? Oh god, I didn't read it properly. Are you absolutely certain that plane was inside Swordish airspace? Well, why aren't you asking about the first attack? They started it. Mr. President, I know this is a sensitive topic, but please, I'm the moderator here. Oh my god, I answered it because I didn't read it properly, for God's sake. Do you believe these harassments could lead to an actual war between Sordland and Rumborg in the future? I believe that's what Rumborg wants. We'll have to see, but if they want war, we will give them war. Well, I hope not. We'll do what we can to avoid conflict. This week, the Arcasian government has condemned Rumborg for the actions against Sordland. Now that Sordland is also a member of the ATO, do you think this would deter Rumborg from creating a broader conflict? That's not a question. Queen Beatrice is not crazy enough to go again. Yes, it would surely deter them from creating war, but they will likely continue their harassments in other ways. I'm not sure Rumborg sees itself as a third superpower of this world. We can't put anything past them. I'll go that second one. Grim, don't have a go at me for this one, I misclicked. You have also earlier claimed Rumborg has been spying on your administration. The alleged spy was none other than your own secretary. Rumborg has denied all these claims. We have all the evidence it was them. The world should know about Rumborg interference with its neighbours. Of course it would deny it, but Sordland knows the truth. It's a very serious accusation, Mr. President. To elaborate, the scandal following the alleged spy's discovery resulted in Mr. Vectern leaving office. He was blamed and you appointed a new vice president. Many claim that it was just an internal political move designed to replace Mr. Vectern. What do you say about these claims? I'm still mourning the loss of Vectern. I don't appreciate you asking. It's all nonsense. We have evidence she was working for Rumborg. Her real name was Ilana Vance. I just laugh at these baseless accusations. I talked about this in detail in the past and you can check what I've said. Do you think you were partly to blame? She was your secretary. It's going on the right under your nose. I'm not responsible for processing background checks. I wasn't the one that hired her. To some extent, yes. Don't want to repeat myself. I've already talked about all this. He didn't look like he was satisfied. He stopped for a moment and took a brief look at his papers. Okay, let's return to your foreign policy. I like the Rizia DLC better. I am playing the Rizia DLC. Probably in a couple of months, so there you go. Let's talk about the ongoing conflict around Highland Islands. Sordland is not officially taking any sides between Angolia and Valgsland. So far, you've refrained from making any statements about the conflict. According to reports from yesterday, the Valgsland Navy had finally attacked the Angolian fleet in Highland Island. Today, Prime Minister Van Houten confirmed the invasion. He said Valgsland troops have landed on the island. So here's my question. What's Sordland's role in all this, and what will it be going forward? There's no role in the conflict, nor do we plan to have one. We stood with Valgsland in their rightful intervention in the island. Yeah, we don't have a role in any of this. Will Sordland also get involved in the situation got out of control? As peacekeeping force, yes, we can't let the Marquian Sea get turned into a war zone. Yeah, I'll do that. Just like how you interfered in Welland. We didn't interfere in Welland, we were invited by Mr. Sullock. What about Welland? We had a joint operation to complete with complete cooperation of their government. Okay, it was a joint cooperate operation, but it doesn't change the fact that your forces were involved in the death of thousands. Your operation was aimed at eliminating the Bloody Freedom Front. According to reports of the Alliance of Nations, both the Wezek and Swordish forces partook in killing thousands of civilians. In fact, recent AN investigation revealed that the death toll of the civilians was way more than the first estimate, and that Wezek forces created mass graves all around the country to hide the true numbers. Did you have any knowledge of this, Mr. President? Would you be willing to release a report from Sworden's side to the AN to clear up this huge controversy? It's insane, we had no knowledge. I think it's an over-exaggeration. No, we're only involved in the towns with BFF militants. So denying knowledge of innocent's death. We had reports of some innocent casualties that weren't intentional, nowhere close to those numbers. But how about one, the gesture directory stopped before finishing the sentence? Well, it seems that's all we have time for today. The director shouted at the crew to stop recording. We both stood up. Thank you for your valuable time. It was a pleasure. I'm sure Grimm's going to tell me I did awful there. Well, I enjoyed it. Thanks for coming to Swordland. I hope to interview you again in the future. Lucian walked up to the director and started talking to him and went inside the building. Oh God, it's so bad. Swordish Great Depression. We're dependent on foreign help. Leaders of the CPS. Oh God. Came together and announced a coalition of the People's Front. Good for them. Reliant on foreign aid. Yep. Living standards suffer. Neck deep in the mud. God, this has all gone badly. Early morning in the Rain household. As usual, I woke up early in the morning, put on my clothes and went downstairs. I made a cup of finely ground Swordish coffee along with a slice of buttered toast and sat in front of the TV. Changed the channel to SBC and took a bite of my toast. I am curious to see what President Rain's response will be. For those who are tuning in late, today is certainly going to be a rough day. With confirmation about the certainty of these leaks, there is nothing short of a major scandal that could very well lead to the impeachment of President Rain. What the flip? I froze and dropped my toast. As per recent information we received, President's name is mentioned many times in these leaks. Oh God, I'm in the Epstein files. According to the documents, President Rain bribed Alvin Calvin with vice presidency position while the Reform Committee was in session. As part of the privatisation process, President Rain sold shares in the backroom deal to Marcel Coronti. We've been trying to reach out to the Maroon Palace about these allegations and scandals. However, we've been unable to reach everyone yet. Well, I'm turning that off. Bury my face in my hands. That's really bad. Private meeting with Lilias Graf. This rose in the files without even meaning to. Oh no. The historic Graf Mare lay on the outskirts of Avery. At the end of a long winding drive and nearly 2 centuries old, it was formidable as the Lilias herself. Lilias invited me to a private dinner, just the two of us. I wasn't sure of her motivations, but was happy to have an excuse to escape Wholesword. Serge dropped me off at the door. I will knock. I used a heavy brass knocker to signal my arrival. Butler answered and showed me to the parlour. Gas lanterns lent on the wooden-panelled room, a cosy orange globe. Lilias was sitting on the sofa, and above her hung a huge, nearly life-size portrait of a sallow, unhappy-looking young woman in lace ball gown. Is that you? It's my mother, actually. I was her only child, you know. Giving birth to me left her medically unable to conceive. My father could never forgive her for not bearing him a son, and she never forgave me. She took the measured sip of 2 glasses of sparkling wine she was holding, and handed me the other. Sounds painful. The silver lining is that despite personally despising me, they felt compelled to grant me all the advantages a son would have had, including the education I needed to rise to the current position. Well, why have you invited me over? Given how your wife spends her time these days, I thought you might be in need of a home-cooked supper. The butler silently stepped into the parlour and rang the silver bell. Speaking of which, she led me into the dining room, and a glittering chandelier hung from high on the ceiling, and beneath it was a long table set for 2. An apron and chef's hat, Wezek, by her appearance. ceremoniously presented a roast rack of venison. Smells delicious. The groundskeeper shot it this morning. Lilius bowed her head and said a quick prayer, and then motioned for me to dig in. Do what Trump did, start a war to distract. I might have to. It was some of the best meat I'd ever had, and we ate in silence for a while, and Lilias pensively laid down her cutlery. Until I want you to know, I have nothing but respect for you. But given certain developments I have occurred over the course of your term, I believe you're no longer fit to lead the USP. I wanted you to be the first to know that I myself will be running against you at the party congress. I suspected that might happen. Of course you did. You aren't stupid. Did you think I'd sit by and make a mockery out of this country's constitution? The very constitution that is keeping this nation safe for internal and external threats. You're a disgrace to the good name of Tarkin's soul. Oh, did you also poison my food? Willius reached out of my plate, took a forkful of meat and ate it while looking me in the eye. I do not need these kind of tricks to beat you. I do you a courtesy tonight. I didn't want to surprise you at the Congress, and I wanted to give you time to consider backing me. I'm not backing down. I understand. Tender my official resignation once we're both back in Wholesword. I rose from my chair. I understand why you never found a husband. Well, that's a shame to lose you. Likewise. I'll have the butler show you out. She stayed in the seat, so the butler guided me gently out, led me outside. As Surgeon I drove away, I looked in my rearview mirror and saw a silhouette in the doorway. She was being challenged from within my own party. Lucy Lilias wouldn't pose much of a threat, or so I hoped. Well, she ain't wrong. Come on, man. It was an unusual day for the residents of Wholesword. Regularly used streets and avenues were blocked off by military personnel. Many shops and cafes were closed, and once crowded stores were now empty. Instead, thousands of residents of Wholesword were concentrated in one street, Victory Avenue. Stretching out through the heart of Wholesword, people on both sides of the road were paving their swordish flag proudly in the military parade. I was getting prepared to embark on my trip. It was going to be a short drive down Victory Avenue until we reached Marine Palace. My company for this trip was Joseph and Tidge, as usual driving the presidential car. Joseph approached me wearing his decorated ceremonial outfit. He carried a sword with a goat's head at the handle and a pistol by his hip. He put on his cap. Mr. President, we are almost ready. We will depart right after the tank column. Rumbug would think twice after today. There will be tremble before the swordish military might. After hearing a loud thump of a book falling down the floor, he turned a couple of privates that were doing the preparations when the schedule and started walking in their direction. Private, can't you do your job properly? I watched as the young soldiers performed a lousy salute to Joseph. What is that salute, soldier? Watch. This is a real salute. He performed an excellent salute after scolding the privates as he walked back. It doesn't give me much hope they don't know how to salute. I will have him educated. Serge appeared from the entrance and joined us. Mr. President, Mr. Lancia. Serge performed the salute to Joseph, which made Joseph smile under his moustache. At ease, Mr. Volkner. Are you ready to depart yet? Yes, sir. Follow me. We started following Serge through the corridors. Mr. President, have you seen the tanks? Our planes too? Rumbug will be so scared when they see this. Well, that is the plan. A great one, I'd say. My kids are very excited to wake up today. You know, to see the planes fly. Serge, where did you do your military service? Mona, 7th Artillery Squadron. I still talk with many of my friends from those days. The camaraderie of the military is never forgotten. I am still in touch with my friends from basic training as well. What about you, sir? Where did you serve? All over Swordland. You know, Mr. President was under my command once. Gomran outpost. He turned to me. You remember those days? Who can forget about Major Lancia? We called him the Relentless. Joseph let out a long laugh. Oh, the good old days. We are here, sir. We exited the building and walked over the clearance where the black Cadilla and President car was waiting. It was decorated properly for the event, and the top canopy had been removed so that we could stand and wave to the people. On the way to the car, generals and admirers were lined up on both sides of the carpet. The atmosphere immediately changed when the experienced men who fought many times for their country saluted me. I saluted back with respect. I saluted with a high-ranking military staff attached from the ATO, and we shook hands before proceeding. We entered the car and Serge started the engine. Iosif was standing right next to me. The car started rolling. Even though there were many walls and trees in between cars and the crowd, I was able to hear the deafening sound of cheering Swordish citizens. Gradually we made our way to the starting point. A group of 10, maybe 12, latest technology S-16 fighter jets flew above our heads, and I thought that the engine was going to leave me deaf. Loud footsteps from the marching soldiers were followed by loud noises coming from tank engines. Tanks came into view, and they were not the most modern models, however they displayed our military might. I couldn't even finish my thought, and one of the tanks broke down and had to be towed. Oh my god. We waited for a few minutes for the announcement, and finally it was our turn. On both sides of the Victory Avenue, there were numerous citizens cheering my name, waving Swordish flags. I will salute. Looking at the benches where General Staff was sitting, I saw Tarkin Sol sitting next to General Vulcan. We kept our slow and steady pace, and we were almost at the Artur S. Visky statue, several hundred metres away. A group of soldiers saluted me as we passed. They looked proud and stout in new infantry uniforms with brand new rifles. We continued on as per schedule and finally arrived at the Marine Palace, which marked the end of the parade. People of Holsford dispersed to their homes. A clear message was sent to Rumburg by a display of our military might. We were about to see whether it would be enough or not. Well, you never know with the tank, do you? At least the only way is up for the depression. Minister of Interior Graf resigns, like Liza Rain. God, our nation is used to patrol, but not on this scale. Corruption of Rain. God, Graf throws in the towel. God! Will of the State. Well, that's depressing as F. Zorland's energy market in flux. Oh, great. The nation's energy market has experienced notable shift influenced by the market dynamics. While enhanced access to diverse energy resources and tech could potentially bolster the energy sector, concerns persist about foreign influence and loss of market autonomy. Oh, God, I've done so badly. At least I kept my wife. God. Well, fellas. Oh, God. We get to start the next game with a football game, I suppose, but I cannot tell you how depressing seeing that is. Cannot tell you how depressing that is. And again, I followed all the advice, but as you say, Grim, that wasn't the best idea as it turns out. So my god, am I going to have to find a way out of this depression? But that is for next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you especially to GooseSpringsteen who sent super chats. We will be playing the Rizia one next, and at least I'll have a better idea of how to play this game then. Number 9 will be the last, I think. I somehow think you are correct too, unless I pull some massive miracle out of this. I do not understand how I've ruined all this. I'm going to be honest with you, but, well, we'll see how it works. But when that's done, the week after, we'll be playing, whatchamacallit, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and luckily Jag is back, so he will be with me every week to play that, so I cannot wait for that. Because honestly, playing this game is just depressing me, and I don't think I'm going to look forward to next week. But it has been very funny to see me as a disaster Prime Minister, or President, whatever it is. But I'm definitely going to play this again in my own time, because I want to be able to get a free market economy going that doesn't completely destroy and ruin the entirety of Swordland. So there we go. Well, with that, I hope you're not as depressed as I've left Swordland, and, well, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye. Laughing at the Guardian Saturday. Should have mentioned that earlier.